Welcome to SolFul Connections, where we skip the small talk and head right into the soul talk. I'm Amanda Solar, and each week we share the kinds of stories that remind us we're not alone. It's about being human, raw and unfiltered, just real talk. Let's connect. Connection. Today, I have with me Mike, Herman, and Katie Hunsberger. They are the duo behind CrossFit Summa in Doylestown, Bucks County, and they're a duo in real life as well. Welcome, both of you, to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So before we jump in, I kind of like to ask people, what has made you smile recently, or what has made you happy? What's something recently that just brought a smile to your face?
I love that question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time with family this past weekend.
Yeah, a lot of family time this weekend. I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, we had our niece had half days at school on Thursday and Friday, and her parents needed a pinch hitter for that. So Thursday and Friday afternoon, we got to spend some time with her.
She's 5.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Cute age.
Yeah. And then Saturday, kind of our typical routine is my parents are on duty for my sister and her husband. They have a 5-year-old as well. Boy. So we usually go over, we call it Austin duty. We kind of go over and get to be fun aunt and uncle for the afternoon, which is great. That's kind of our typical Saturday routine.
And then Sunday,
yeah,
we had another our other niece, what you call her?
She's a niece.
Yeah, a step niece, and our niece who's 17.
Yeah, to graduate high school.
Much different.
It's really hard to believe.
She's a senior in high school. She just had her last performance. She's in the theater company at her school, and she had her last performance of her high school career. So, it was emotional. Right? Yeah, and it was emotional. She knew she was sad that it was her last one, I think. And but she's going to go on to college to study theater too. So we'll hopefully be able to see her in another play sometime soon. So yeah, lots of stuff to smile about.
You know what? I actually love that. Even my kids, my baby is 17, and then they go up. And my one daughter works in DC and lives in DC. Mm-hmm. And my sister had to go to DC for something, and they went out for, brunch. And I just love that. You just can't have enough people who love you. So it's awesome.
It's cool to think about meeting them for lunch in the future when they're adults.
I know, isn't that crazy? It's even crazy for me to like get that picture. They took like a selfie or whatever and sent it to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there they are. But it makes me so happy. So CrossFit Summa, you've been doing this. You started this business like 13 years ago. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, 2013. So it'll be 13 years in June.
Yeah.
And why the name? What does the name mean?
Yeah.
This is for you.
Okay. Yeah. We originally they had some naming rules and stuff, which they've recently got rid of, because you couldn't call it CrossFit Doylestown, which is what we wanted to do.
Have it be the town or the city.
Yeah, there was like rules around that. But when we started, they had rules, and essentially we were looking for something that meant like peak or pinnacle or like the top of the mountain. And one of the words that came out of at the time, we didn't have AI, but we had Google thesaurus, and was summa cum laude, like Latin for graduating with honor. And so that's where it came out of. It's Latin for like peak, pinnacle with honors.
Yeah, I love that. I actually love that. So CrossFit, is it like a franchise?
It was such a good question.
Great question. It is not technically a franchise. So a franchise would be like if you opened a McDonald's, they would tell you when to open, what to wear, what to serve,
what music to play.
Yeah, it would be like all the details. CrossFit is what's considered a affiliate model. So essentially, you pay to use the name, but then the business itself is completely independently run by the owner and operators. So you'll see a wide variation between different gyms, but also like some consistency with like general things that are always going to be in the same in each
And the education piece also, like CrossFit has, a series of essentially certifications. So technically, in order to coach at a CrossFit gym, you're supposed to hold the level 1 certificate, eventually get, the higher levels of education, but it's not like a complete free for all or anything like that. Usually the coaches at CrossFit gyms are going through a specific process.
The one thing that we really like about it is that with most franchises, there's a high barrier to entry. So like, for example, to start an Orange Theory Fitness, for example, or something like that, I believe it's like $1 million or something like that to start one. It's essentially like no startup costs for CrossFit gym.
Very minimal.
Very minimal.
Between, again, getting that certification and, some equipment, finding a space to operate out of. But some gyms start in garages.
Yeah, we actually did start in somebody's garage and just started training a few people really well, gained a following, and then we're at the space that we're at now for the last 13 years. But it allowed us, without a lot of money, to start a business that we've turned into a highly successful business at this point, which is pretty amazing because like we wouldn't have been able to do this any other way, I don't believe.
Yeah. Young, mid-20s, not a whole lot of dollars to their names.
So were you people who were did it all start because you were into CrossFit or you were into fitness? Like what was the origin?
Yeah, we were all personal trainers at other gyms originally. So I had gone to school for exercise science and became a personal trainer kind of right out of college and kind of gained a following. I had, I don't know, like 30 to 50 people that I was training one-on-one at the time at another gym. And when I started the gym, a lot of them came with me. And with the other two owners originally of the business, they also had a similar situation where they brought all of their people in. So we were in the fitness world, and Katie was in the fitness world too. Mm-hmm. She became a personal trainer. She was a math major. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Logical
jump.
And decided to kind of go into the fitness realm. Yeah. And then she started working at the gym that I was working at.
That's how we met.
Literally the same week.
Corporate gym that we were both training at.
Yeah, literally, I believe the same week that I had the grand opening of my gym, and I told her like, hey, I'm starting this gym thing. Like, you should come to the grand opening, and that she did. And so she met my parents the first week.
Wow.
His parents were at the grand. We call Summa's grand opening kind of our unofficial anniversary. It's not our wedding anniversary, but it's the anniversary that originally got.
We started dating shortly after that, so it was interesting timing. It makes it really easy to remember all the landmarks.
June of 2013, we would know exactly how long we've been together.
My husband and I have one of those too. It's a million years ago, but we still have. I like these like landmarks. So when you say like corporate gym, does a corporate gym mean like just a gym that I don't know what a corporate gym means.
What you would think of like in the industry, we usually call them like Globo gyms, like bigger.
I see.
Like a big box gym. It was High Point or Philadelphia Sports Club.
Yes,
in Chalfont. So that has since
it's townhomes.
Yeah, been leveled. It's now
yes.
It's like. That was there. It was like a monument practically. It was there for like 30, 40 years or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I wanted a free gym membership when I was younger, I worked there and I just handed people towels. So I wasn't a trainer. I was like, here's your racquetball towel. Do you want two? That was the extent of my, training knowledge. So this intrigues me too, because so when you, Mike, started training people, like you're a personal coach, I feel like that takes so much confidence to be able to say, not only do I know how to, work out and be healthy, I know how to help you.
Yeah.
Had you always felt confident to do that? Did you did it occur to you that it was taking a lot of confidence to work with somebody? Like, what's that story?
It's a great question. Yeah, I think everybody deals with a little bit of imposter syndrome at some point in time where they're like in their head they have some doubts about what they know, or no matter where they are. I think I still get it to this day, and I probably shouldn't have any doubts at this point because I've been doing it for so long and helped so many people. In the beginning, it's a little harder. You almost have to fake it a little bit because you haven't been doing it very well. It's like when I sold my first person on personal training, I'm pretty sure I lied and said that I had been doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to be.
That's the story of everyone.
Yeah. Like, I think it's hard to be like, hey, you're my first person. I've never done this before. Like, I don't know. Like, how do you start there? You know what I mean? It's like just getting started. I would imagine it's the same with a lot of professions, like the first time you do something. But yeah, once you kind of get the ball rolling and I gain some confidence, and I've always been someone who connects with people really well, and I've always been really good at finding and asking questions and learning about people and making those connections and always going back to that to create those relationships. And I think that was the part that got me going and is now keeping me going. Now is not my fitness knowledge, but it's my ability to connect and build relationships. Yeah, so I have people that I trained at Philadelphia Sports Club that I still train now 13 years later. Some people I've even had longer than that. I've had people for 15 years. So in order to do that, I think it's both. You have to build really good relationships and then know what you're doing so that people are getting results and continue to see that. But I think the relationship thing is the biggest part of it.
I also think it's interesting. I feel like this is probably the same regardless of the industry that you're in. Or the thing that you're studying or what have you. I feel like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And like, it's good to have confidence, but at the same time, I think there's also a certain level of humility and yeah, exactly. Like I know that I don't know everything. I'm always trying to learn and learn from other people. And you kind of have to surround yourself with people who kind of, what is that? Lifting tides,
rising
tides lift all boats. Like everyone that you're surrounding yourself with and like trying to continue bettering yourself for the people that you're working with. Because like, if we were still doing things the way that we had done them when we first started training, like, I don't know. But to me, that's not growth, right? Like you want to constantly be upping your game. So it's good to be confident, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
totally. That makes total sense because I even think of that with doctors. Like if I sit with a doctor, I don't want them to think, okay, I know everything, learned it, went to school, had this many, patients. They don't know me. They don't know my kids. So it is a collaboration.
Yeah.
And so I love that actually, because I do think so much is collaboration and so much is individual, we're all so individual. So what made you want to, like, instead of work at the gym and continue to train, open your own gym?
Also a great question.
Yeah. I was young. And
maybe I
didn't know.
A little bit naive.
Yeah. I think I didn't really know what I was getting into, honestly, and I didn't realize how many hats we would have to wear in terms of all the things, as probably with like what your husband does too, like that, like, or what you do with your business, like so many of the things that you have to do, like marketing and social media and like learning all these things that I never thought of, because I just loved the fitness thing. I just wanted to help people.
Fell in love with CrossFit, wanted to show people that there is this different way of thinking about fitness, because at the time it really was very different.
Yeah. And I didn't want to have to know how to negotiate leases. And so like that's not what I started a business for, but it ended up, all of that stuff is all wrapped up into it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have changed it for anything. And I'm so glad that I did take that leap. Like between Katie and I, like I'm the risk taker, I'm the dreamer.
He's the dreamer.
And she's like I'm going to get the thing done that you're dreaming about, and the doer.
Or figure out what we can
or what's possible and more realistic.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's good that I took the leap and made the risk, because it got us to this point where we're building the life that we want, which I don't know is possible. And like, it's possible, but must be harder for people who work for other people. Like when, somebody tells you your schedule and where you need to show up and, dictates all the rules. And I think we're in a position where we're starting to build the life that we want to live. And I'm just very grateful that we get to say that. Yeah. And this has allowed us to do that. And also help people, and again, build those relationships with people and like meaningful connections that I think are so important in life too, that that again, I'm not sure if people, like, depending on what people do for their careers, I'm not sure, if you're working behind a computer, maybe you don't get an opportunity to do that for your work. So you have to do that in other places, but we get to do that for our work, which is pretty amazing.
I think that like the whole Globo Gym situation, you're kind of in like a little bit of a box. And I know at the time, again, CrossFit was very different at the time from what standard fitness was. Like, most people, when they thought about the gym, were thinking about ellipticals, treadmills, machines, and that kind of thing. And CrossFit was very much like, you are the machine, and we're going to show you to move functionally, and you probably aren't going to need a machine. We're going to, some of it feels like playtime. And that was very different than the standard fitness that was out there. So I feel like, again, I didn't start the gym with Michael, but also fell in love with CrossFit, and like this, like, I don't know. It was like in some ways freedom from like the standard in the box situation, leg press, leg extension. Again, there's a time and a place for everything, but like, when was the last time you jumped rope? Like, when was the last time like you did things that you haven't done since you were in third grade or something like that? Like, I think there's a lot of fun to be had in that. And getting people outside of that kind of standard box, and also having the flexibility and the freedom to do other things that can impact people's health and fitness. Like now we're dealing with nutrition and lifestyle. It's not just what's happening when you're at the gym, it's also the other 23 hours of your day. And I feel like when you are when you are a trainer at this kind of Globo Gym type of corporation, it's more, there's more red tape. There are certain things that you are not necessarily encouraged to do, or that you don't have the flexibility or the freedom to do. And if you want people to get the most out of their time with you, you kind of have to talk about the other 23 hours of your day. I want to know how you're sleeping. I want to know what your stresses are and how they're contributing to your ability to get to the gym. I need to know about what your nutrition looks like if you want to get the most out of your gym, depending on what your goals are. Those kinds of things. I think it offered more freedom and more flexibility to approach fitness in a more holistic way. Yeah.
So that brings up my stereotype, or my knowledge, my insight of CrossFit is that I picture people picking up tires. When I think of CrossFit, that's really, I'm sorry to tell you, all I know, like that they're like picking up tires or jumping through tires or doing stuff with tires.
A lot of people say that.
It's like the thing. People have like this image of people flipping tires, or like battle ropes and things like that. And it's so funny that it is everything.
We do have large tires, but
and I hate using them.
We've used them twice in 13 years.
Yeah. No, very, very, very small, teeny, tiny little.
But somebody did good marketing in that regard. We gotta shift from. We're trying to shift the image of CrossFit a little bit, especially with the way that we're doing it. Again, like there's different interpretations of it. I think like different gyms will do it in slightly different ways.
Yeah, maybe there are some gyms out there who are doing stuff with the tires way more frequently than we are.
Our approach to fitness is more centered around what we talked about earlier, like caring for the individuals that are coming, more health oriented. So like focusing, like Katie said, on not just the fitness side of things, but the nutrition, the sleep, the stress management side of things, and trying to get people genuinely healthy and not just worrying about like one side of that equation where, I don't know, you're working yourself really hard and just burning the candle at both ends and not sleeping and recovering and doing the other things that you need to do. And more about family too. So like our core values are around that too, where we have tons of families. And I think, like, to your point, the image of people that people think is maybe like, I don't know, young,
maybe a little more intimidating.
Like, we have mostly like soccer moms and like middle age, like our median age is like 45, which is like the average.
Yeah, so we're all a bunch of
it's mostly female
22-year-old fire breathers and stuff like that. We're normal people. We do have some younger members, we do have some older members, but trying to find the right version of any given workout for any person. So like you have a bum shoulder right now, you're working around something with that, like, okay, you can still show up and there are still things that you'll be able to do. So that's definitely something that we try to make sure that all of our members know, and again, trying to make sure that the greater public is aware of the fact that, you know, CrossFit is for anyone. Definitely. It's like, it's not all just tire flipping, and it's not even really intense all the time. Some days are a little bit easier than others, and some days are meant for more strength training and not just you're not always moving with a barbell. Sometimes you're doing all body weight exercises, and that doesn't mean that it's easy, but you know, it's not all just super heavy strength training or anything like that. Some days are focused more on core strength. Some days are focused more on, like we said, the jump rope. Some days are more skill oriented.
We actually have a class for, we call it our vitality class, which is geared towards like a retired age group, just with the time of day. It's like the middle of the day. And everybody in that class is generally like 60-ish and over and retired. And they do CrossFit 2 to 3 times a week. And, you know, my mom, who's 75, just got done beating cancer. She comes 4 to 5 days a week. Katie's parents had never worked out a day in their lives, and they just retired and decided that they wanted to just take care of themselves and start moving. So they started coming like religiously, like twice a week, and they're crushing it. And now they're doing a 2-week road trip across the country. Like
noticing things that like that used to be difficult or impossible for them are now relatively easy things. Like when we go to the beach, they can get up and down out of those super low beach chairs and not have to worry about it, walking around without back pain. And they're taking a road trip. I'm not sure if they would have done that a couple of years ago. You know, it's just really cool to see that kind of like functional carryover of the gym and of fitness. I feel like people get so concerned about like just the aesthetic stuff or just the performance-based numbers and stuff like that, but this can literally change your life, impact your life.
We want it to be about what we want health to be like, make the things that you want to do easier. That's what it should be.
Exactly.
Right. It should be play with your grandkids if that's what you want to do. That's what it should be about, right? Or whatever it is for you.
What about, you know, you're, like I said at the beginning, a duo in real life. Your partner, you know, business partnership. How do you navigate that? Do you have any challenges navigating that? Does it come down to, hey, you're the dreamer, you're the one that puts that dream into some sort of structure? Like, how does that work?
Also great.
Do you want to shake it out? Do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay, I'll start it. Yeah, this is a great question. If there's anybody listening who also owns a business with a significant other, you will relate to this. There's some challenges for sure. Like, we talk a lot about the business, and it's sometimes hard to separate that from our life because it's such a big part of our life
that's definitely something we're working on, is like having boundaries around
not talking about it at dinner all the time. So that's one thing that we're working on. But at the same time, it's like, again, pretty amazing that we get to do this with one another. Like, we have so many couples that we talk to, like, don't talk to one another, or like don't have time to talk with one another. Seemingly, it seems like it, because just from what we hear, and we talk to one and they're like, oh, I don't know what they're doing, and we get to talk all day long.
I think communication is really important. Really important.
We spend so much time with one another because of this, and we get to have all that time. Like, so many couples just don't get much time. It's not even possible.
People who are working more normal 9-to-5 jobs and things like that. Like, I don't know what we would do.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have to like one another. That's a good place to start. But I think it's ultimately been good for our relationship that, we get to spend that time with one another. We get to communicate, but it takes, real intention to have those conversations and set time aside to talk about other things other than the business.
I think, we've tried to, like you were talking about before, with like the dreamer versus the like get stuff done. So like we lean into each other's strengths. Nice. Like we have specific roles that we kind of have within the business, and we try to make sure that the things that we're doing are, that they make sense, that we're not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole kind of thing. Like, I don't know, he's a little less concerned with like the way that things look aesthetically, like our gear and stuff like that. Like, I want things to look a certain way, our newsletter to look a certain way, the type of language that we're using and that kind of thing. And you're great at the connection piece. So he's definitely kind of taken that aspect of the business and kind of run with it. I'm more the nutrition person, so I'm taking that. So we're definitely, we're good at recognizing kind of the things that we are best at versus maybe not suited for. And we're good at communicating with each other.
We need to literally schedule time to spend with one another that's not related to the business, like literally putting it on the calendar and prioritizing that too. Otherwise, we'll just get lost in the business stuff all day long.
And that's still something that we could continue to try to improve on, and have better boundaries and be prioritizing that even more than we already are. But we're doing better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes like intention, awareness first. You need to be aware of the thing, right? And then intention, and then action. Because if you're not aware of a problem, then you can't fix it. So we're working towards that.
I was thinking about advice for that person that does not even know where to start and just thinks, I want to be healthier. I'm not sure how to begin.
Well, I was thinking around the awareness piece is a good segue, because again, if you're not aware of, maybe you're aware that there's a problem and you want changes, but you don't know where to start. One way could just be to bring awareness to it, is just like write down everything that you're eating. It could just could be that, where you're just like, what am I, like most people think they know, but when you start writing it down, you're like, oh, like I didn't realize I was doing that. I definitely think walking is underrated. This is a great time of year, generally the spring, summertime, when it's warming up, to get outside more. And then we're going to highly recommend that people strength train. On top of that, like, I think it's having a moment right now. Like, I think people are starting to hear it more and more, particularly women, who are getting older, are kind of getting that message now. We're seeing a lot of that, like people coming in, and justifiably so. Like, I think I'll let you speak to this more, but I think everybody should be doing some form of strength training, and it doesn't need to be like, I think when people, again, thinking of conceptions of what that looks like, people think that that looks like unattainable or scary, but it could just be body weight exercises. That's weight, that's weight training. Maybe you start there. And again, it's learning how to do it properly and safely first. And that's where, again, finding somebody who can teach you. There's lots of resources now, though. So, again, just finding a way that you can do it safely and start is the best way.
And I think I think regardless of what you're going to do, you could find the most perfect program to follow, but if you don't want to do it, if it's not fun, and then it doesn't matter that it's a perfect program. If you're not going to do it consistently enough and for long enough to see the kinds of results that you're looking for, whether it's increasing your bone density, if it's increasing your cardiovascular fitness, if it's strength training and trying to improve that, if you're not doing it for long enough, then it doesn't matter that it's a wonderful program. Like, great, but are you doing it 3 months later? If not, then it wasn't perfect for you. So finding something that you enjoy and that you will stick with. So if that is walking and yoga and like some body weight exercises in your garage, then great. If it's coming to a CrossFit gym and doing CrossFit 4 to 5 days a week, that's awesome. If it's running, and I would always want somebody to be pairing that with some sort of strength training, but again, it has to be something that you are going to enjoy enough to commit to for the long haul.
Yeah. And the nice thing that you guys seem to be offering is a piece that's missing right now in the world, which is community building. And so there does seem to be something powerful about doing something with a system of support.
Yes.
100%. I think that's really important.
Huge.
That was, we thankfully were able to navigate COVID times and all of the lockdowns and all of that. And oh my gosh, after coming out of that and getting to come back to the gym and back to in person, it was just, we all need it. It
made us realize that and point even more after that, because we always knew it was important, but it really stuck with us since then. And particularly as the world changes now, we're getting probably more into AI and other things. Like we're hoping that it still is just as important. I'm sure it will be.
We'll always need that human connection, whether it's your for us, whether it's your connection with your coach, or if it's a connection to the people that you are in class working out with, and there's connection there also beyond the walls of the gym, the friendships that people make at our gym, obviously, but also at other CrossFit gyms.
We're at number 10 of people who have gotten married after meeting at the gym, and I'm including Katie and I technically met at the gym. So we're one of those 10 people who have met there, gotten married over the last 13 years, which is pretty amazing.
Cool. And even something like connecting with a family member. We have father daughter, mother daughter. We have a whole slew. We have people in our vitality class who also have people in our regular CrossFit classes and their kids, grandkids. It's pretty amazing. I love that. It's just like one other thing to potentially connect with the other people around you. If you have like-minded people in your group, that's very helpful with similar values and. I
love it. Okay, time for just random questions that have nothing to do. Well, maybe they don't have anything to do with CrossFit, but what do I know? Because I don't know the answers. So what is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh, guilty pleasure.
Keith.
I love a baked good. I don't know that that's a guilty pleasure though. For me, it's a guilty thing. But again, I'm the nutrition person. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a cookie, having a baked good. Like, you have to understand context. Obviously that's not the only thing that we're eating, but it's certainly not guilty. guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure. So guilty pleasure. Ooh, that's a great question. Okay. It's problematic, but I am a Michael Jackson freak. I know all of the things. I cannot watch any of the documentaries. I refuse to. I know that it's problematic, but I have to get down with that, Jay. I have to.
Yeah. Well, my husband, I will say, saw him in concert.
Oh my God.
He worked, I forget where he worked, but he did it just to see these concerts. And he said it was like, it was the best concert he has ever seen.
They don't make entertainers like that anymore.
No. Yeah.
I think the closest that our generation has is like Taylor Swift.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that.
Yeah, who puts on like a spectacle like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what about you, Mike? Do you have a guilty pleasure?
I don't know. I'm gonna say social media because it's such a waste of time. And just the doom scrolling type thing.
Some positives, but the majority of what
I'm actually doing on there is not productive for the most part, and I spend too much time with that. I'm gonna use that one. I'm sure most people listening are in this boat and they maybe don't think about it that way, but I'm gonna think about it that way because I'm really could be using my time for other things. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so what about maybe a book that impacted you?
Yeah, Katie was pointing out some dishes in the sink earlier, and one that has impacted our relationship probably the most, that I think everybody who is in a relationship should read at some point, especially if you struggle with the delegation of household tasks and fairness and equity around that.
Yeah, that's
Katie pointed this book out to me, and
after listening to another podcast.
Yeah.
It's a book called Fair Play from Ava Rodsky.
Okay.
I believe is her last name. And basically the book, you can also get a deck of cards, and basically she lays out all of the possible household tasks in this deck of cards. And you have a certain deck of cards for if you don't yet have children or don't plan to have children. And then you get a whole nother set of cards once you do have children.
Yeah.
And it's literally down to the kid cards are really fun. Like, what's the one for like the Tooth Fairy and like
you're in charge of magical beings.
Magical beings. That's
like,
or who is in charge of gifts.
Yes.
Like gifts for family members or Christmas birthday gifts.
Talk about when some of the cards are weighted a little bit more. Like, for example, Katie's in charge of cooking in our household, but that doesn't just involve cooking.
Yeah. So there are certain cards that have to happen basically every day.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you have to have meals on the table every day. You got to bring the mail in every day. There are certain cards that those have to be divided up pretty equitably and evenly.
But not
a lot of cards in, we'll say, married heterosexual couple, such as ourselves. A lot of times the tasks that are typically male or that you think of as being like mowing the lawn, cleaning the gutters. For a lot of couples, this isn't necessarily for us, but like balancing the checkbook, and paying bills and those kinds of things. Those are not necessarily on a daily timetable, but a lot of the things that we expect societally, culturally, it's not every couple, but for a lot of people, the female or her tasks tend to be things that take a little bit more mental bandwidth and planning and happen on a very daily cadence, sometimes multiple times a day, especially if you have children. Again, things like cooking, cleaning, like those things happen on a much more regular cadence.
And it's not just cooking the meal. It's like you have to go out and buy food, and then you need to think about what you're going to make in order to go buy the food that you need to make the meal. So there's so much more thought and bandwidth there.
So for, again, if you aren't already doing something like this, there's a lot of mental load for again, in a heterosexual couple, and for the woman in the couple tends to have a lot more on her plate on a day-to-day basis, and that doesn't leave a lot of time for things that bring you joy. And that's the whole point of the book, is like, it doesn't necessarily need to be evenly
50,
distributed. It doesn't mean that he needs exactly half of the cards and I need exactly half of the cards. It needs to be distributed equitably. So depending on how much one partner works out inside or outside of the home, depending on bandwidth, depending on those kinds of things, they get distributed equitably, which has been really, really helpful.
And then it becomes something that you agree to, and it becomes an expectation. It's like Katie knows that I take the trash out, and it's like she doesn't need to think about that, because
I don't even worry about it, because that's a him thing. That's not a me thing.
And it also requires understanding what your partner is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's really big in a relationship, to kind of even see what the person is doing.
Right. Understanding the mental load that goes into conception and planning and all of that.
When we first sat down to do it, we saw that Katie had a much larger chunk of the cards because of, again,
especially the daily.
There's just like certain things that, I don't know, inherently become like, again, tends to be the female, like in the relationship of like our relationship, that tend to be put on her. And we noticed that in the beginning. We're like, huh. So then we like reshuffled it a little bit, gave me some extra responsibilities and things that needed to happen more.
Also think really very interesting, the author and the creator of this deck of cards, she has, like, if you have some sort of occurrence that happens, death in the family, loss of a job, if you have the birth of a child, all of those kinds of things, she has ways for you to think ahead and plan ahead of like what happens to all of the cards, right? If now all of a sudden you welcomed a baby into the world and mom is breastfeeding, well, guess what? You're going to have way more of the cards, because this is a full-time job. So things like that, I think, getting people to think about, again, kind of not a completely even distribution of labor, but an equitable distribution of household labor. And it's helpful. It's almost like, and she kind of uses the metaphor of like running things the way that you would run a business, like you have a partner and you are running the business, you're running the household, and how do those roles get distributed? It's the same way that we try to do things with the business. Like the things that you are better suited for, we want you in those roles. I don't want you doing things that you hate doing. I want you to do things that you have a preference for. Like, I love to cook, so I wanted that card. And Michael, again, he's better at certain things than I am, so he's going to hold those cards. So it's an interesting way to think about things. You're running your household kind of like you would a business.
Systems are always good. They're just always good, whether you're talking about parenting, relationships, your own personal system. I just like systems, because if left to my own devices, who knows what would happen about anything, so I do. That sounds really impactful. What about a pet peeve? Just in general.
I think I know you.
Pet peeve. Do you have one? Mine?
Yeah. You have a few
off the top.
Using wrong version of they, there, or there.
Oh yeah, like
that's a big
grammar.
Sure, grammar, and things of that nature. THEIR, THEYRE, those kinds of things. Sure.
You keep thinking. I'll say mine. There's other ones, but you keep thinking. I know mine. Mine,
What is yours?
mine's when I'll use airlines as a scapegoat for this, but there's other businesses or things that do this, but things that you go on and you're looking for the price of a flight or something and it says it's $200, but then you click into it and then they're like, oh, you want to fly on that plane? You got to pay for a seat. Oh, you want to bring stuff on the plane? You got to pay to bring stuff on the plane. Here's like a fee for the fuel because the plane could get to the place. Like, stop with all that. Like, stop with all that shit.
Yeah.
Just give me give me one price. I think there's a bigger push for this now. I'm hearing from some places, but it'd be like, if we chart was like, hey, our membership is X amount. Oh, you want to use the equipment? There's an equipment fee. Oh, you wanted it to be clean. Oh, there's a cleaning fee. Like, I don't know. I just don't love when it seems like authentic. It seems like they're hiding things. I don't love that. I just want to know what it costs. Like, there's no way to plan in that scenario, which
I agree.
I struggle with for what it's actually going to cost. That's a huge pet peeve for me.
Yeah.
It annoys me. It annoys me just talking about
it. I agree with you. And it is why I've given my husband that job. He literally has that job.
Yeah, it is my job. And that's why partly, maybe it needs to be her job. Maybe I need to delegate.
You know what? I don't want it to be my job because I might just go, whatever, this, and then we'll be kind of in trouble because I won't notice that there's a fee for the seat or whatever, because it's so boring to get to the bottom of it all.
Just tell me the price.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So just kind of tying it up. So this podcast, SolFul Connections, is under the umbrella of something I created back during the pandemic called Soulful Living. So when you hear soulful living, it means different things to different people. What does that mean to you?
So for me, it's making me think of like purpose and a little bit of spirituality, maybe
fulfillment,
purpose. It's kind of ringing those words for me, where and it's something that we think about a lot. And we talk about a lot is what is going to fill our cups so that we can help other people and live a life that feels meaningful and purposeful, and making sure that we're in alignment with that. Because none of us are going to live forever, and we need to make sure that what we're doing matters, and again, tying in with our own personal values and what we think is important, and making sure that we're doing that on a daily basis, and like checking back in every now and then, because things change, and things shift as your life shifts, and you need to revisit it and make sure that you're still, we call it that your ladder is leaning up on the right house.
I'm going to say that.
Oh, I like that.
On the right wall.
On the right wall.
Yeah.
Like you're climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, but what you're climbing towards actually what you want.
Yeah.
Is it in alignment with what your values really are and what you want out of life? Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for what you're doing to make our community healthier and for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for putting us on. This was great. This was cool.
So much fun.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. Thank you for being a valued part of the Soulful community. Thank you to William Aronson for writing, recording, and producing the Soulful Connections theme song. And finally, always know you're not alone. We are connected. We're all in this thing together. And you and your story are important. Let's just keep on connecting.